What's going on, peeps? It's Wrath here, and today we have the 9th anniversary upon us. So, what I figured we'll do this time, before we jump in and do any of the anniversary stuff, is we're going to go over the event, break points that you need to know about for free-to-play, spending, relay, all that good jazz. I've just spent the better part of 2 hours mathing it out. So, hopefully it all worked out well, and my math is not awful. That would suck. I don't think it is. We'll do a very brief glimpse at the events. We've already seen all these things through the leaks and the spoilers. So we know the Palace of Eternity, nothing special here. Replace yourself for a Vespera if you want one. All good stuff. Palace of Crystals, we already know about this. Value packs will come into our considerations in a little while. This is primarily for the goldfish and the treasure tickets if you want those as well. Mostly we'll focus around contract starry gems. I don't think too many people actually buy the dollar value packs in these events unless they're wailing their balls off, because generally speaking, it's more worth your money to spend on the relay than it is to spend money in the value pack. You're better off going relay for sure, like 10 times out of 10, and using your contract starry gems over here. It's just the better way to do it. Hero lottery, not important. Summoning prizes. There's really only two things to look at here that we're going to worry about for today's stuff, and that is the goldfish that you can get, and of course the treasure tickets that you can also get. So goldfish, we'll look all this. I got a whole spreadsheet pulled up. We'll look at the math totals and stuff on that here in a little bit. 4 rounds, as usual. Nothing different there. 2,000 scrummins. You get like 900 something for free, so most people shouldn't have too much of an issue with this event grabbing stuff out. Hero exchange event's kind of nice. All the newest heroes up for grabs, and they're relatively cheap. But this is where most of the stuff is going to take place. Legend of the White Snake. This is where you can convert your goldfish into jade rings. The jade rings are what you use in the Mysterious Shop to buy your stuff. The key note to take away here is it's 60 goldfish per 10 rings. When we're trying to math things out, we're trying to make sure our breakpoints are divisible by 60. You don't want a breakpoint that's not divisible by 60 because you're overspending somewhere, or you're underspending, or you're just short, or you're over, whatever. You get what I'm saying. You want it to be divisible by 60 so you're not wasting. This is the Paintings in the Mist. This is where free-to-play everyone's going to grab a bunch of their goldfish. It does cost you 24,000 gems to get these. It's definitely worth it. Everyone should do this. This is pretty much a gimme. That's going to give you 90 goldfish, 30 for completing 30 paintings, but every single painting you do gives you 2. 30 times 2 is 60, 60 plus 30 is 90, that's 90 goldfish. We go over that in the spreadsheet, so you'll see that in a little bit. We'll grab this out, go ahead and feed our Snecky Poo 100 heroic summons. This is where your 900 free heroic scrolls come from. Technically 909, because you are guaranteed to get this if you feed every day. The Aurora Stones, we're not going to go over these too crazy much because in my opinion, they're primarily for heavy whaling, and the vast majority of players aren't going to get much of a use out of them, and the rewards aren't that insane. Most people could probably, maybe, I would say maybe not even most people. Some people will get to this just being either a free-to-play or a low spender getting lucky rolls, and it's not too crazy. A Soulbound Sea Stone is nothing special. It's not that big of a deal. A treasure is never a bad thing, but it's not too crazy either. The vast majority of players are not going to see anything beyond this, and trying to push for these A-tier stones, you might as well just take that money, get some starry gems, and then buy the copies out of the auction house yourself. It'll be a much cheaper deal. This is not necessarily worth it at all. That said, moving down to the treasure, we'll talk about this as well. The 30, 60, and 100 breakpoints on the treasures. How many can you get for free? All that jazz. We're not going to worry about this. This is how it is for every time there's a Transcendent Hero. You fight other Transcendent Heroes, you get some free loot. The first 4 are generally pretty easy. If you got friends, Discord and stuff, you can grab, well, most of this stuff. This one is going to be tough to do if you're not going to trans a Vespera yourself, and this one, of course, is very difficult to do because you have to actually fight all of these trans heroes in a single battle, and that is really, really hard to do. So this is the toughest one. Everything else can be done. This is the second most difficult one, but with a little help from friends, little Discord help, you'll get all this stuff, no problem. Not going to worry about the Soul Awakening Gala on Vespera here. It's not super important. If you're feeling like you're going crazy on it, 60 is not a terrible break point if you want to do 12 Vespera copies, get yourself a Mysterious Artifact. Would not recommend going for 100. That's just my personal advice. The anniversary replacements, a lot of replacements here. You can replace orange artifacts into mysterious artifacts, but it is not cheap. It does cost 1,000 of the replacement tickets. You can buy up to 1,300 of these suckers, but it does get pretty expensive the more you buy, obviously. Things you will probably use as free-to-play low spenders if you want a skin. For example, I'm not gonna... Who wants a skin I don't care about? I really don't like Belrain. I think Belrain is more or less useless. I could replace Belrain skin for a Great Sage Wukong skin, and I probably will do that later in the event, but that's just something that you can do. Hero replacement for newer accounts, new servers. This is actually very handy. Any 5-star hero that you have you don't want, you can replace it for pretty much anybody that you do want. So for all you nerds out there who love Eloise, you're going to probably just come in your pants seeing this happen right here. Listen, I'm not among you. I'm not one of you. We're not the same. I will not be doing this for Eloise copies. It's not going to happen. Simply will not be the case. I wonder, can you replace Light and Darks? Can I turn a Gurki into like a Sun Wukong? Oh my god, I can. The world is my oyster. Things are opening up for me. This is going to be a crazy time for my life. We could go pretty nuts on that. Origin artifact replacement, deific artifact replacement, all this jazz. Core of Origins, kind of the big one. I can't do mine because it's in use. It's the most expensive, all of them, but if you want to swap a core, you can. Not what we're going to focus on today anyways. This is just mostly free loot. Again, not a focus of the day. Our focus for today is going to be... Okay. I wasn't going to talk about this. These are okay deals. Okay, if you're level like 200, 300, 400, these will pay you back something. If you're just sitting on hordes of this crap and want to spend it, go ahead. This is probably the best deal if you're going to spend a little bit of money. It's 30 free awakens, which is pretty freaking good. I guess they're not technically free. There is 30 awakens, 30 pages for your grimoires, page of destinies, 30 deluxe gift boxes. Oh, that's nice. I didn't even factor this in. I didn't even think about it. But you can get some treasure tickets here. That's an option. And then 1,500 contract starry gems. It's not a terrible purchase. If you're wanting to spend a little money, this isn't bad. But we're mostly going to focus today on the relay. Let's go ahead and grab our relay stuff out. Talk about these. This will come up a little bit, but the primary thing we're going to talk about here is, of course, the treasure tickets. We're not going to focus too much on the basic loot because that's easy enough to math out. If you want to go through it and look at how much stuff you're going to have, how much you need, that's fine. And then, of course, this. The main thing to note about the shop exchange is there's a couple of differences from normal shops, i.e. we now have a grimoire material section here that you can get grimoire stuff for. That's new. We've never had that before, obviously, because grimoires have never been around until now. So that's a thing. Every floor is discounted except for floor 12. This means you need 65 of the jade seals for a full completion. This also leaves you 5 of the little jade ring seal whatever's left over for after you beat floor 6. Once you have filled out floor 6, you will unlock the exchange shop. I believe it tells you up here somewhere. Eeny, meeny, miny. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't. Does it not? I could have swore it did. Yes. After I was looking for the number 6, not the word 6. Once you do the first 6 floors, the exchange store is opened. In the exchange store, you can exchange a single one of your jade deals for either glorious relics, gems, or contract starry gems, a max of 5. Almost everyone just goes contract starry gems there. You get 1,000 contract starry gems kind of returned to you. It's pretty much the best way, and that's what we factor into when we look at our spreadsheet. So I guess we can just go ahead and pull that up. Boop. The spreadsheet. This is what I have mathed and typed out over the last couple of hours. It should be accurate. If it's inaccurate, I am stupid. Let us slurp on some Yoo-hoo. We'll start with the free-to-play stuff. This is all for relay spending. Things in white is just the actual package, so your free package is in white. Your total dollars spent is in red, and it goes down, so you spent $0, this is what you have. This is the $5 package, what's in it. This is your total spent, including all the stuff before it. So down here, when you buy this $50 package, you're actually the $130 total. This is all the totals of the loot all the way across. I don't include all these together. You'll just know that you have them because you've unlocked them before. So, things to know. Obviously, 60 goldfish per 10 jade rings. That's important. 240 goldfish is kind of an important breakpoint because that gives you 40 jade rings. 40 jade rings allows you to do 6 floors at a discount and still exchange 5. 6 floors is what? 30. math. If you're doing all the discounts, if you don't do one of the discounts, it's actually 35 to do 6 floors. You can get an origin artifact or something. That's why I like the 40 breakpoint. It's not like the only other breakpoint there is. I just like it. It opens up the exchange store for you, allows you a little wiggle room if you want to grab an origin artifact or something like that, and still get 1,000 contract starry gems refunded for you because you've unlocked stage 6. That's important. 420 goldfish is obviously the big breakpoint. That's 70 jade ring. Full completion, all 12 floors done, and the exchange shop is open. Of course, you don't have to do a full completion just because you have 70 jade rings. You can grab origin artifacts or grimoire material, whatever you really feel like doing. It's totally fine. It's up to you. That is in your hands. Where do you get your goldfish? This is important. Painting in the Mist, we just looked at that. I think it's actually called Painting in Mist or Painting the Mist. I don't know. It's the painting thing. This is where you can get 90 goldfish. It does cost you 24,000 gems. Not a huge deal. Heroic Scrummins, 72 total available here, 18 per completion. Important to note. The Relay, you can get up to 603 of these bad boys. That's for super whales who are buying the last like $300 package, whatever. Like I ain't doing that crap. That is just what's available there. Contract Starry Gem packs cap out at 270 goldfish. Dollar packs is 405 goldfish, but again, unless you're whaling, you're probably not going to spend money on the actual packs. You're going to spend on the Relay and then make up the difference afterwards. In total, there's 1,440 of these bad boys up for grabs. 240 jade rings, which is insane. It's crazy. But let's go ahead and look at this. Our free-to-play path based on your contract starry gem usage. First and foremost, our free-to-play max goldfish without using any contract starry gems is 172. This is a problem. Why? It's not divisible by 60. If you had 8 more, that would be great. That'd be 180, and you would have enough to do, 30 jade rings. Unfortunately, it's not enough, so you don't want to go too hard on this and spend everything if you're not spending any contract starry gems, because you're going to find yourself a little bit short, and no one likes being a little bit short. Trust me, I know, I'm short. Okay, so options you can do for 0 contract starry gems. Pretty much the best way to do this is just spend your 24,000 gems, get your 90, get 10 from your Relay, 22 from doing 600 heroic summons. It's going to give you 122 goldfish. That's 20 jade rings. That is the bare bones base, cheapest way to do the event, and it's not the worst thing in the world. Now, the breakpoint I kind of like here, 40 jade rings. We talked about that before. It's 240 goldfish. 2,500 contract starry gems. That'll get you 90. 90 from the Paintings in the Mist, 10 from the Relay, and then 54 from doing 1,500 heroic summons, get you to 244 goldfish. Yeah, you're 4 goldfish over, but it's close enough. And of course, remember there, if you do that, you are refunding 1,000 contract starry gems, so it actually is only going to cost you 1,500 contract starry gems to get all of that loot. Not bad. The 50 jade rings is also an option if you want to go that route. This gives you a little bit more flexibility if you want to grab, like, some origin artifacts or something like that. Go a little bit off of the discounted paths if you so choose. It's going to take you 3,750 contract starry gems. It's 135 your goldfish, 90 from your Painting in the Mist, 10 from your Relay, 72 from doing a full-on 2,000 heroic summons. This should be pretty doable, this event, for most players. That's going to give you 307 goldfish, which is 50, and that's good. 50, and again, you get 1,000 back, so it's actually 2,750. It's not. Just keep that in mind for all of these, pretty much. You're going to get 1,000 contract starry gems refunded as long as you're using that exchange shop, which I would recommend that you do. 70 jade rings, the full completion, of course, is going to run you 7,500 contract starry gems. You're buying every single pack with the fish in it. 90 from your Paintings in the Mist. That's 24,000 gems spent there. 10 from your Relay. You only got to do 1,500 heroic summons this way, though, because you don't necessarily need to go over. It brings you to 424 goldfish. There you go. Full completion done. 1,000 refunded back to you. And there you go. That's your free-to-play. Essentially, that's the blueprint that I would lay out. It seems to make the most sense to me in where it breaks on your goldfish and how much loot you get out of it. So, this brings us to the Yoo-Hoo. Delicious. The Relay Spenders. So, if you want to look at all this stuff and go through it by hand, you can. Take a screenshot, look at it later. But for Relay Bros, there's a couple of options and some that aren't very good. If you're trying to go really cheap and not do a crazy amount of spending, you can just do the $15 Relay, and that's not $15 pack, that's $15 in total. That would bring you down here to this this right here, $15 in total spent. Why is this a decent break point? Because you math out how many goldfish you get 48 goldfish, 172 goldfish. This is coming from our max free-to-play goldfish. This includes 10 from the relay. That's why when we add this number next to it, it's not adding the 48 goldfish from the relay. It's adding 38 goldfish because 10 of those goldfish are actually already factored into the 172 here. Just keep that in mind. That's why it's written the way that it is. That's going to bring you to 210 goldfish. If you do 210 goldfish, you start buying your value packs. They come in 90s and 45s. So that's what these numbers here for. The first 90 takes you to 300, the next 90 to 390, then 435 and 480. Both 300 and 480 are divisible by 60. That's 50 and 80 jade rings respectively. So that's not a bad deal. That can get you to a full completion plus some, or a nice comfortable 50 to allow you to kind of mess around and pick up some origin materials or whatnot that you want. Go a little off of the discounted path if you feel the need. So that's what we've got in here. 2,500 contract starry gems will get you the 50 if you're spending $15 total in the relay. And then 7,500 contract starry gems will get you the 80 jade rings. And remember, you do get 1,000 back on all of these because you will be using the rebate most likely. $30. This is where you get the first privilege breakpoint, and this is actually one I would not recommend anybody stop at. And that's because you look at the numbers we get here at the end, we math everything out, you end up at 325, 415, 460, and 505. None of those are divisible by 60. Either they're just a little below, like 415 is just a hair below 420, really sucks, or they're 25 or something, they're far over what you would want them to be, right? They're 25 or so over. That's a pretty substantial overspending. I wouldn't recommend stopping at the $30. Yeah, you get the privilege one breakpoint, but I just don't think it's good. I think you're better off just going for the $50 break, and that is where you're going to get the privilege one. Plus, you get the skin, Vespera's skin, which is nice. This is going to give you the 172 from your free-to-play stuff, getting everything done there, all your quad completion and summons and all that jazz. Plus, you get 98 goldfish. Remember, there's 10 cut off of this. It's not 108, it's 98. That gives you to 270 goldfish. Plus 90 is 360. Plus 90, 450. 495, 540. Both 360 and 540 are divisible by 60. It's 60 and 90 jade rings respectively. It's a decent stopping point. The downside to doing it this way is you're kind of spending the max amount of money to not get the extra privileges from all the heroic summons that you're going to do. Can you stop here? Absolutely, you can. You'll still get a fair amount of jade rings. 2,500 contract starry gems will get you 60 jade rings, and then 7,500 will get you the 540, which is 90 jade rings. It's definitely a viable place to stop. I would say you are going to be missing a lot of your, I guess there's more written over here. Whoop. Oh, hold up. There's a little bit more. Beautiful. You're going to miss a lot of free loot from your summons because you don't have all the other privileges unlocked. Is it the end of the world? No. If that's just what your budget is for the event, it's not a bad place to stop. $80. This is going to get you the privilege 2 breakpoint, so you get a little bit more loot now coming in from your heroic summons. This gets you 158 goldfish, 172 plus 148. Remember, we're minusing 10 here. Brings you to 320 goldfish. Add 90, you got 410. Add 90, you got 500, 545, 590. Only 540. The 545, I mistyped that, is close enough to count. You're only 5 over on your goldfish spent there. Can you go for the other ones? I mean, I guess you could. 500 is also 20 over 480 if you really wanted to math it out that way. It works. This one's just really close to a nice clean break at 60, so that's the one I went for here. But no, you could just do the 5,000 contract starry gems. I didn't math it in here. You would be 20 goldfish over your budget there. It's not the end of the world. It is a break point that you could go for. But that will get you, if you do the 6,250 contract starry gems, that'll get you 90 jade rings. Of course, if you just do the 5,000 contract starry gems to get here, you'll be a little bit over, but you will hit the 480 break point, which I do believe is 80 jade rings. So you're still in a pretty good spot, right? So that's an option. It's not written here, but it's an option. Know that it's there. $130. This is where I think kind of the creme of la crop, the best value, the best bang for your buck generally sits in these relays. That's going to give you all of your privileges. Since you're already doing all 2,000 summons anyway, this just gives you everything that you could really want. It's going to max out all the loot you can pretty much get from the event, which is nice. That gives you 228 goldfish. 172 plus 218, remember we're minusing 10 off of that, gives you 390 goldfish, adding 90 is 480, 570, 615, and 660. Both 480 and 660 are perfect, divisible by 60. 615 is pretty close though. You're just 15 goldfish over the 600 mark there. That's 80 jade rings, 110 jade rings, and then 100 jade rings, so that's 615 where you're a little overspending. So 2,500 contract starry gems will get you 80 jade rings. It's a pretty good deal. 6,250 will get you the 100 jade rings, 615 of your goldfish, and then 7,500 is going to get you 160 or 110 jade rings. That's a full completion plus 4 floors in the next thing. Not bad. There's plenty of loot to be had there. That's going to bring us down to the treasure train tickets. So the sources of these, we have the heroic summons. You get 4 per round or 16 total. Not great. It's actually pretty low. Value packs. There's 152 total up for grabs. Cost you 9,500 contract starry gems. Pretty expensive. There's 220 total up for grabs in the dollar packages, 540 bucks. As you can see, I've written a fat nope skis there, although I didn't write it fat, I wrote it in small print, but that just means I ain't doing it. That's a nope skis for me. Privilege 3, that is going to be when you're up here and you're at $130 spent, you'll unlock the Privilege 3. That is going to actually net you 28 treasure tickets for doing your heroic summons. Worth doing, I would say, for sure. The Legend of the White Snake has 30 available in it. As you can see here, whales only. It requires 230 jade rings to reach those 30. So 99.99% of us do not care. It's just there for scholarly purposes. The Relay. At $15, as you can look up here, I've got all this stuff written down. You get 9 tickets there at a $50 breakpoint, 36 at $80, 56 and $130, 86. I tried to keep the relay breakpoints here tied to the ones that I recommended you stopping at. You don't have to stop where I said. You can overspend and underspend. It's totally up to you. This is just where I recommend people go. If you're going above $130, just by the way, I didn't math $200 and plus. $200 is here if you want to look at it. I do have that mathed on here, but I didn't do all the rest of it. I'm going to leave that in your hands. If you're really wanting to whale that hard on the event, I'm going to let you do the math on the rest of it. I did the base level work here. You can build on it. But like I said, I did like to keep my breakpoints here for the relay similar to what I recommended you doing for the goldfish, because I would say you might as well just kind of tie them together as much as you can and see where you're going to be if you're following certain breakpoints. So for our free-to-play friends, the max event tickets you're going to snag out here is with no starry gem or no contract starry gem spent is 16. As you can see, I got a boo written there because it doesn't really get you anywhere. You need 30, 60, or 100 to make anything happen. 16 is obviously not that. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad. You can still convert those tickets over and use them in treasure train events. Not a bad deal. It's just boo because it's nothing for the event, right? 2,500 contract starry gems gets you to 56. I also booed this because it's 4 tickets under the 60 if you wanted to get 2 oranges. Again, this isn't a big deal. You can 100% for sure. They can spend those suckers on regular treasure events as they come around. And you'll notice my breakpoints here are also the breakpoints that I recommended for my free-to-play paths, 2,500, 3,750, and 7,500. So I remath those down here so you know how many tickets you are going to end up with at those breakpoints. So at 3,750, I have 76. This is not bad. If you want to actually do the event, you can get 2 guaranteed orange treasures out of it. You'll have 16 left over to reconvert. But at the same time, you could just convert all of those you wanted to. That's pretty much half of a full-on 150 completion. That's not bad at all. 7,500 contract starry gems. This is you going all in as a free-to-play player. Is 136 tickets. This is fantastic. It's obviously a full completion if you want to do the event, and it even leaves you 36 spares to convert over at the end. Of course, you can do however much of either you want. Do how much of the event you want. Do none of the event. Convert all those suckers over. Totally in your hands. 100% up to you. For us relay bros, I will put myself in the relay bro category because I relay bro. You know what I'm saying? $15 spent, no contract starry gems is going to net you a hot 25. Treasure tickets is going to be the 16 from 0 spent here, plus the 9 that you get from the relay. That's how this math has been factored. If you do the 2,500 contract starry gem breakpoint, which I have recommended here, that's going to get you to 65. That is enough to do the first 2 stages if you really want to. Of course, you don't have to. And then if you do all the 7,500 and go all in, it's 145. For the $50 breakpoint, 0 contract starry gem spent, you're at 52. That's not bad. Of course, it is a little bit shy of your second breakpoint here, but that's fine. The plus 2,500 Contract Starry Gems here that you spend brings you to 92. Kind of a sad face. It puts you just underneath the 100 mark. Again, I've said it 100 times. I'll say it at least once more. You can just convert them. You don't have to spend them on the event. If you go all in, balls deep, balls to the walls, everything's spinning, it's all good. 7,500 deep, 172 tickets. More than enough to do not only the entire event, but have plenty left over for conversions. It's a great deal. The $80 breakpoint, remember I did have a 5,000 when I said here, I'm not factoring that in here. Oops. But you will have 72 if you don't spend any Contract Starry Gems. Again, I wouldn't recommend that being what you do, because generally speaking, I would recommend if you're going $80 deep, that you do spend 6,250 Contract Starry Gems alongside that to make sure you're getting those 90 Jade Rings. That's going to get you 172 as well, so pretty much the same here. You just save 1,250 Contract Starry Gems to spend 30 more USD dollars. It works. If you do 130 and go all the way balls deep, no Contract Starry Gems is actually 102, but don't forget we get the 28 that come from the Heroic Scroll Privilege 3, which actually brings your total to 130. So if you do the $130 relay and that's all you want to do, you can fully complete the treasure event and have 30 tickets left over. Of course, if you are going to spend Contract Starry Gems, as I would recommend most people do, that will get you to 170, 230, and 250 treasure tickets respectively. That is a buttload of tickets. That's a full event, and then a full event afterwards from the conversions. That's pretty nuts. So you can knock this whole sucker out and have 150 left over to blow on Alien Dessert when it shows up. Not bad. I do believe that is, this is 20, it's supposed to be a short video, just trying to go over the stuff, but it takes a little long to explain the math sometime. I know I could have just said, here's a picture, you know, go nuts, do your thing. But I didn't. I did not do that. This is the information that I have available to me. This is what I used. I did use a little bit of info off of the Idle Heroes discussion Discord server. They had some breakpoints in there. It's not all from there. Obviously, I put my own stuff in here and did all this fun math myself for you guys. But there we go. That is the breakpoints of the event. That is where I would recommend you go, whether you're going free to play, whether you're spending. Hopefully now you are equipped to make your decisions in game, and you're not going to find yourself in a position where you've overspent, you've underspent, you've overcommitted, and you find yourself a hair short. Never a good place to be. So hopefully this helps clear some of that up for you. With that said, that is going to be it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget, smash that thumbs up button to show your support, and I will see you guys in the next one.